Hello, hello. Thanks for stopping in, guys.
All right, guys, we're gonna.
Let me just check a couple things here and we'll get started.
I know people always like to talk about Ashes of Creation, and I'm as interested in Ashes of Creation as just about everybody else is because we're all looking for a new MMO, and I've voiced my displeasure of the guy behind Ashes of Creation. What's his name? I'm blanking on his name right now, but I'm not really a big fan of his as a person. I mean, as someone who's backing an MMO, I don't like how he tried to make fun of Amazon Game Studios, which I didn't think was very professional. And I'm talking about Stephen Sharif or whatever. But anyways, I mean, of course, just like anybody else, I want Ashes of Creation to be a success. I want it to be a great MMO. I hope it's the best MMO ever created. I mean, just because I don't maybe necessarily like the person who's kind of behind it doesn't mean I want the game to fail. I mean, there's probably that evil little devil on my shoulder that does, but we all have that in us, right? Yeah. So I wanted to kind of watch. I actually like Wolfheart FPS. I've watched his channel a couple times, just where he talks about things. Like I said, I don't watch streamers a lot, but I do watch videos where I'm trying to learn something, or maybe see an early preview, or get a review on something. And in this case, I just wanted to talk about what kind of the impressions I think I'm getting. Well, I'm watching him play the game and him talk about it. So I'm on my lunch break from work, so I just thought this would be something fun to do while I'm eating some pizza here that I cooked up. So let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Get on to the Intrepid servers.
I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. This is him waiting to get in. So I wanted to start right from the beginning.
Is this game optimized? Looks like my computer's lagging a little bit.
Now he's saying, is it optimized? I will say one thing. I watched a little bit of this earlier, and it definitely is laggy. The game definitely needs a lot of optimization. So we'll just get that out of the way right now.
Position in queue. Oh, no. Oh, no. In queue, I paid $500 for this thing. Get my ass on the server.
That's great. I paid $500 and I can't get in. That's awesome.
So glad you're doing this. I wanted someone to watch for this, and I love how you're pretty chill. Thanks, Titan. I appreciate it. I think I just screamed right when you said that. Yeah, I don't do too much screaming around here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. It's working. Let me make sure we get the volume levels right here. I can barely hear the music. Can you guys hear the music right now? Check 1, 2. Okay, you guys got some music. Man, this game is making my computer a little laggy, though. Create a new character. Welcome to the Ashes Alpha. Alpha preview. The Alpha 1 starts Monday, maybe? Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't believe this has come. I wish I had more energy today. Because this is a moment I've been waiting for a very long time. Keith says, let's go, baby. Alphas are not usually optimized. That's true, David. That's true. What are your PC specs? 2070 Super. I can't even remember what my PCU is. Hey, Rick, what's up? Thanks for stopping in, guys. All right, let's get it going, man. Mike.
I would like to say it's kind of funny that he says, I can't even remember what my computer is. As a streamer, I kind of find that hard to believe that he doesn't even know what his computer is. It's like, you're going to know if you're a streamer. You should know anyway. You should know.
Thanks for stopping in. I love you too, Pool. All right, I love you too. All right, let's take a look and see what we got here in the alpha. Can you guys hear the music right now? Check 1, 2. It might be a little bit low, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out when we hop into the game. Let me go back into performance mode. Okay. So here we go. I'm just going to take my time today. I'm not rushing anything. We're just here to check out the alpha and everything that it has to offer. So let's see what we got. What's up, Carl? Aaron? 3 classes? Yeah, it's just the alpha, man. They don't have all the... There's going to be a ton of classes, but they don't have all the classes available, nor do they have all the races. So we have the Kalar Growth Order Civilization. The Kalar Empire on Sanctus spans nearly an entire continent, networked with roads and cities built with the latest technologies. They have similar designs for Vera, intending to shape her to their own ends. In this, they remain faithful to their roots, even so far from home. The Kalar will rise to any and all challenges. And we're on the Cleric class. Let's check out more of the races. Valoon. Trade, Law, Hardship. The Valoon were forged into the heat of the desert.
It's interesting that the 2 first races basically look like humans.
And through the ages became a blade that bends but does not break. Through development of a complex web of relationships and savvy negotiation, the Veilun grew into one of the wealthiest empires on Sanctus, despite having few natural resources to exploit themselves. Their environment has taught them what it means to kill or be killed, whether through the beasts of the desert or the snakes in the market square. David, thanks so much for the $10 donation.
He's got the best freaking like donation video clip that plays when someone donates. I love that because I'm a big lover of wolves. I've always loved wolves. So I mean, in World of Warcraft, my hunter always has coyote pack leader, so it's a coyote, I guess, but pretty similar to a wolf, obviously.
I appreciate it, David. Thanks a lot. Guys, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. This is a new game. Whenever a new game comes out, I end up missing a lot of the chat because I'm trying to take in the game and actually know what I'm doing. But thank you guys so much for stopping in. I appreciate it, and I'll get to the chat as much as I possibly can without ruining the experience of showing off the alpha. All right, next up, I don't think I want to play that race. I'm not really into the desert origins. All right, let's go to the Empyrean.
I also like to comment on that last race. What was it called? I can't remember what it's called, but that last race, I mean, you'll see a lot, and it really, my experience from fantasy and from fantasy novels and different games and all kinds of stuff is that a lot of times you'll always have a race that kind of, I mean, you could have a race anyway. It's very commonplace to have one that grows up in like a desert, or like they talked about how they had few resources. And whenever you have a kind of a race that lives in those type of environments, they almost always have the background story of them being kind of vicious or tough warriors are very good at survival because of the limited resources. So it's not uncommon to see that. And in fact, in the game, the MMO that I've always wanted to create, which of course I always talk about me creating my own MMO because I do have a background story and I do have a lot of work I've done for it. But if I ever do it, it probably not. It may happen. It's kind of my dream that when I retire from working as a programmer, which I'm only about 12 years away from that. When I retire from working as a programmer, that's something I'd like to do in my spare time, is really work on making my own MMO, or just a very simple concept of an MMO to show off all of the kind of systems that I would love to see that we just don't see in MMOs now, which I think are really lacking. But so it's interesting and cool to see that they do have a race that kind of that's built around growing up in harsh environments, and that creates them as kind of a tough, a tough, hardy race. It's just something of note.
Empire pride culture. Though not as numerous in population as other races, the Empyrean are a monolith of power on Sanctus. Elite military forces coupled with a highly structured and effective government of singular purpose give them that power. The Empyrean belief in themselves. Oh, okay. The Empyrean belief.
And of course, here's the arrogant race that grew up with the the silver spoon in their mouth. They've got money and they've got resources, and because of that, they've developed a society and a culture that's strong and powerful and blah blah blah. So there you go.
Belief in themselves, their people, and their empire will carry their culture forward into Vera. Okay, pretty cool. And you guys know it. Thank you. Thanks again, David. I appreciate it. You guys know what we're going to be doing here, man. Stoicism, tradition, craft. Where the peoples of the old world saw a mountain range, the Dunir saw a defensible bulwark where riches must needs be hidden.
Yeah, that's bad grammar there. But again, funny that the dwarves have the name of like a dwarf, the very dwarven type name, Dunir. And of course, typical, even the art style. In MMOs in fantasy, it's just so common to see. They always have kind of a Celtic design to the armor and stuff for like a dwarven type of race in MMOs. And again, the size, the way they look, the fact that they're talking about riches and that they're craftsmen is very, very typical dwarf stuff.
Dunir take immense pride in what they craft and what they build. Impregnable fortresses, warhammers that never break, skull. Beautifully cut gems are all in their repertoire. Damn, they're throwing some words at me, man. Don't be deceived by their stout stature. They're pound for pound the strongest warriors the world has ever known. Skull, we're drinking to that, baby. Skull. Dwarf life is right. Hey, Red Cape. Dwarven nubs for the win. All right, guys, I'm going to go with the Dunir, but I'll just quickly scroll over these so you guys can see. I can't remember how many races total there are, but not everything's going to be in the pre-alpha, of course, or the alpha preview. So we're going to start off with a Dunir, and we got 3 classes to choose from. We have the Cleric. In such a dangerous world, a Cleric is...
I apologize, guys. I'm going to pause this just for 1 second. I'm going to grab another piece of pizza because I'm on my lunch break. I'll be right back.
never wanting friends. They can protect their allies in a number of ways and when necessary snuff the life out of others. Masters over the very essence of life, they can sense the broken and corrupted. Mage. A dwarven mage is funny. In a world where the impossible happens every day, the mage is an ally no one can do without. Masters of the arcane, they bring terrible elements to bear and devastating spells. If reality needs changing in some fashion, ask a mage to help.
Okay, I'm going to say right here, if I had a race that was a dwarf race, based on what I read here in the description, I don't think a mage would be an option, a class option for me. I would not allow dwarves to be mages because, I mean, it just doesn't feel right. Dwarves are fighters, they're craftsmen. But when have you ever thought about dwarves as being like mystical or into mysticism or into magic? It just doesn't seem to really work for them. Now, it even says here they're pound for pound the strongest warriors the world has ever known, and yet here we have a mage class. If he would have, what's up, Applebee? This is Ashes of Creation. What's FTP? I'm not sure what FTP is. This is Wolfheart FPS, the streamer, and I'm just, I'm on my lunch break, and I thought it'd be fun to watch some Alpha 1 game footage, so I'm just showing his video where he was talking about, Ashes of Creation, his experience in Alpha, but I don't think that a dwarf race, I mean, if they would have talked about in the description of the race here, the Dunir, about them somehow linking magic to them, that they actually used magic, I don't think I'd really, that I wouldn't have a problem with there being mages, but the way I read this, it just doesn't seem like mage would be a race that would be that the Dunir would probably be. Is the game free to play? No, this game's not free to play. This game's not even out yet. This is an early alpha. Are there elves in the game? If we go back in the video here,
let's get it. You guys probably got a peek, and we're on the cleric class. This is a new game. Elite military.
Right here, this race kind of look elvish. They have pride, culture. Those not as numerous as obviously the race of the Empyrean are. A monolith of power, elite military forces. They believe in themselves, their people, and their empire will carry them culture forward. And they're called, it looks like Empyrean. So it doesn't, they're not really called elves, but they've got the pointy ears. So, I mean, are they elves? It's hard to say. I mean, really, I'm disappointed with the races because they just look like humans. I mean, the only one that's really very different is the dwarf, which is the Dunir. So if you go back, and there's going to be more races, I think. I think this is just what's in the alpha. This is early. This is like Alpha 1. So this is very early in the game's development. So I believe there's going to be more. Let's see if he says, I don't know how many there are. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Okay, there's going to be the Kalar, the Dunir, which is the dwarf. Oh, actually, we have pictures here. Cool. Let's maximize this. So we actually have some pictures here. So this looks like an orc race. Here we've got, they're calling it the Elven race. So the Empyrean, they're saying it's a Pyrian Elven race. We've got the Aela human race, okay? And then we've got the Nikua, which are kind of like a dwarven type race, it says. We got the Vek, which I don't know. It says it's another orc race. And the Pyrai, or Parai. I don't know if that's supposed to be Parai, like Pariah, or Pyrai. Probably Parai. It says Pyrian Elven. So this is another Elven race. So there's multiple Elven race. And actually, you see here's the parent race, which is interesting. So there's 9 playable races. They have the humans. So they group them into humans, dwarves, orcs, and elves, which is your typical... Yeah, you have to pay for the alpha. Yeah, that's $500. If you want to get into this alpha right now, you got to pay $500. What's up, Tony? I'm just on my lunch break, so I'm eating pizza, and I thought it'd be fun to watch some Alpha 1 Ashes of Creation, because everybody's been talking about Ashes of Creation lately. So I thought, let's see what kind of information there is. And I saw that people are in playing the Alpha 1, so there's nothing better than, actually seeing the actual footage of real people playing the game. So here we are. But yeah, here's the races. And we've got this just god-awful, ugly race breakdown. This art style is so terrible. I'm not a big fan of the art style of Ashes of Creation. But it's a little different once we get in game, so we'll look at that in a second. Yeah, I mean, $500. Now, if you bought into the alpha early, like really, really early on in Ashes of Creation, then yes, you could have gotten into the alpha for a lower amount. But I'm not sure when that was. That was probably a couple years ago to do that. But now, they're trying to raise more money, obviously. And now that the hype is rising, they're taking advantage of the hype to basically take advantage of your pocketbook. you know. So, anyways, here's the races. It's interesting they do have them broken down into the humans, the dwarves, the orcs, and elves, which is kind of cool. I actually like that. I think in fantasy games, especially if it's high fantasy, which is what this is, then humans, dwarves, orcs, and elves are the most common races. I would have liked to have seen them put something else in there that's completely different, just to be a little bit more original. But I don't really have a problem with this. I think this is okay. Um, it wouldn't have been my preferred. I would have preferred to have a little more variety, and not just humans, dwarves, orcs, and elves. Maybe throw in like not a snake, but like a serpent race, or maybe I don't want to say a furry, but I mean furries are popular. I mean, it's some kind of a furry race. Whether it's like like a bugbear. I would love to see a bugbear race. I mean, we can really pull from Dungeons and Dragons, which is where I'm always going to pull from when I talk about fantasy stuff. Um, but I've always thought bugbear would have been a really, really cool race, and of course, you wouldn't really call it bugbear because that would be like a copyright probably infringement. But think about playing a race that's more like this. It's not my favorite face for a bugbear, but something akin to this, which is kind of a furrier looking orc, really. Bugbears, well, they're like a bear. I mean, they're like a kind of like a bear human hybrid. This would have been a really cool race to put in Ashes of Creation. You wouldn't don't call it a bugbear because it's copyright, right? I mean, it's Dungeons and Dragons, but something like that I thought would have been a lot cooler. But let's go ahead and get back to the video.
So here we go. I'm just going to take my time today. I'm not rushing anything. We're just here to check out the alpha and everything that it has to offer. So let's see what we got. What's up, Carl? Aaron? 3 classes? Yeah, it's just the alpha, man. They don't have all the... There's going to be a ton of...
I did want to say one more thing. I think, and I've always thought, EverQuest 2 had fairies. I do think fairy races would be super cool. And I think when you're making an MMO, you have to cater to everybody. You have to cater to females, males. I like the idea of fairies because I like the idea that I can fly naturally, that I have wings, and whether they can really fly. But just the fact that they can move around while being in the air would be super cool. So, how do you spell fairy? Is that right? Fairy images? Yeah. See if we can get like a decent looking, something like maybe like this, or even something. I wouldn't want it to be too realistic. So there'd have to be some stylization to it. You could go more human based, where you have a fairy that looks more like a real human with just wings, which I wouldn't really go like down there. You have one like this, which looks okay. Actually, this one looks fantastic. So something like this, although that's a little too human looking, a little too her form is a little not petite enough for me. I don't think. Here we go. This one's super cool. So something like this. This to me, this is like what a fairy should look like. This is really good. But I'm thinking a race like that would be super cool. And females who play the game would love it. I would love it. I'm not gonna lie. I would play a fairy just to be able to float around in the air and be flying. Would be super fun in combat. And to give fairies some sort of really cool spells with magic would just be. And they would have racials that would benefit them in magic. So something like that, I think would have been really cool. And I think that games are too safe sometimes when they create races.
Classes, but they don't have all the classes available, nor do they have all the races. So we have the Kalar Growth Order Civilization. The Kalar Empire on Sanctus spans nearly an entire continent, networked with roads and cities built with the latest technologies. They have similar designs for Vera, intending to shape her to their own ends. In this, they remain faithful to their roots, even so far from home. The Kalar will rise to any and all challenges. And we're on the Cleric class. Let's check out more of the races. The hair every time. Guys, I can't get in right now. Let me try a different name. Or you just... Huh. I'm guessing we're going to have some problems today with the servers and stuff. I think that's what the alpha's for. It's for testing network things and stuff like that. But I can't get in right now. I might have to go back and try this again. Okay, let's try it again. I'm gonna quit. I want to see what server I'm on too. I'm on the US West server. Go to US East. All right, let's try it again, guys. At least you know what we're doing now. I ain't saying no. Key says, I'm actually surprised that there are this many options pre-alpha. Yeah. The main thing we're just testing is we're just trying to get a feel for this game a little bit, guys. I don't even know if the next combat prototype has been implemented or what. All right, let's try that again. Let's go the Dunir. We're gonna go tank as a dwarf, and then later we'll play a mage and a cleric. Although a dwarven cleric would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? That would be pretty cool, actually. Now you guys got me second guessing here. Now you guys got me second guessing. A dwarf is a badass cleric, aren't they? Okay. Okay, I'm going cleric on this one, all right? Oh, we got in. Let's go, guys. It worked, man. It worked. You guys ready for this? I'm super pumped right now. All right, here we go. Alpha Island. You guys are gonna have to help me a little bit with the volume levels.
Alpha Island, just read that as Noob Island. Whoops.
Dwarves are the best clerics, exactly.
Pretty cool loading
Guys, I've been
screen.
waiting so long for this game. It's a bummer that they didn't figure out their content creator program before the start of the alpha.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So I'll tell you what, guys, you're gonna get honest opinions from me from the game because I paid $500 for this. So I'm gonna be as honest as I'm gonna be pure truth on this channel, guys. All right, here we go, guys. Greetings, glorious adventurer. We would like to welcome you to the first alpha of Ashes of Creation. As a tester, you are trusted with the honorable task of helping our development team with early testing and feedback in this Alpha 1. A few important things to point out for you as you explore an early look at Vera. First and foremost, this test is not a content test. Let me repeat that. This alpha is not intended to contain significant content. The purpose of the Alpha 1 is to provide critical test data on our technical systems and architectures while demonstrating mechanics and design systems within their unpolished and unfleshed out core states. Our alpha is a true development alpha and is not intended to provide a game experience, nor is this playtest intended to be representative of the quality, polish, and content that Ashes of Creation will have at launch. I still don't... It's bringing me memories of Baldur's Gate Early Access and the things that people criticize. God. It's pissing me off. I'm pissed off right now. If you're a content creator, it's important that you... Hey, that's what I'm doing. Steven, don't yell at me. It's important to relay this information to your audience. Most games will never allow an audience to see a project in this state without an NDA in place. However, a major part of our philosophy at Intrepid is our transparent development process. Having transparency in a game's development allows players to provide thoughts and feedback throughout the different stages of a project's life cycle. Too often we have seen projects give a look under the hood when things are near complete and incapable of being revised without significant refactoring rework. We're willing to take on the risks that some viewers will assume this as a final product. Yep, people are going to. Believe it or not, no matter how many times you say it. All right, here we go. In order to provide some guidance to our testing, our goals in the Alpha 1 are testing the following core systems, okay?
Jesus, that's a lot of goals.
So this is the goals for the Alpha 1 right here, guys. And there's nothing about combat in there, really, even though they're going to be tested.
I hope that the Alpha 1 goes a long time, because if they want to test all this stuff, and if all this stuff is still truly in alpha status, which I guess it is, man, this game's got a long way to go before it comes out.
Seen some things to the combat. All right. Awesome. Skills. As you advance in level, you accrue skill points that can be allocated within the skill tree. Skills can advance in power by allocating more points into them, and the more points allocated, the more skills you'll have access to. There are passive skills, which passively boost your characters, and active ones that you can use in combat. Active skills will ultimately include augments that can be applied after the player has chosen a secondary archetype to complete their class choice. So Ashes of Creation has a unique class system.
So, right off the bat, I mean, they talk about the putting talent, basically talent points. They're calling them skill points, but you're putting them into a specific tree. So, I mean, the skill tree. So this is very much like World of Warcraft or even like Skyrim, right? You're putting points into a certain tree to unlock other skills. So very similar to so many MMOs. But the other thing that's interesting is they talk about unlocking a second character archetype. That's very similar to like really Lineage 2, Ion. It's a lot of the Asian MMOs. And I think that actually Steven Sharif, I think he was a big fan of. I know he's a big fan of Arcade, and I think Arcade does it as well. which does the second class archetype. And I also believe that Steven was a fan of Ion too. So both those games have the archetype system where maybe you start out as a scout, and then you have the option of when you branch out at maybe level 30 or 40, whatever, to become like maybe an assassin or a ranger. Or if you're a priest, maybe you have the chance to branch out to maybe not a priest, let's call it like a disciple or something. You have a chance to branch out into a priest or a cleric, or maybe if you're a priest, you have a chance to branch out into a cleric or a paladin, just that type of a system. So nothing new here.
As the classes get further fleshed out, players will be able to gotcha. Questing, I don't think I need to read all this right now. When we need something, we'll come into this. Here we go.
Thank God he didn't read all of that.
Oh
I would have skipped ahead.
Gosh. Guys, oh my God, it's been so long.
Look at the lagginess.
It's a little laggy right now. This
Very
is to be
laggy.
expected.
Okay, I would say that the reflections on the water are really, really good. I really like the reflections. Even the water here on the parts of the rock that are where it's just a little bit of water, where it's just the rock is wet, is actually excellent. Because a lot of times in MMOs they'll do water but on the ground, but it'll be puddles, and they won't actually go to the point of making surfaces look wet. And the game that comes to mind that does this really, really well is Black Desert. And Black Desert was the first MMO I played that actually did it really well. So that's really cool that they're doing a good job with reflections in water. And also doing a good job with blending terrain. So here you've got some rock that kind of moves into what looks like maybe dust-covered rock, or where the rock's more worn or covered in clay. I don't know. But some pretty good transitions, texture transitions.
Look at this, guys. It's such a weird way. Every time you jump, you do a dwarven flip. How you doing, Seti? I don't know if I should swing near people. I bet you can't actually do damage out here.
The fact that a dwarf does a flip makes no sense. I'm just going to say that outright. They're not fucking gymnasts. So that to me is weird.
Does the PvP system don't count? I'm sure they're testing everything, but I don't think PvP's prime on their list for this test. That'll be Alpha 2. I bet you Alpha 2 will have a strong focus on...
And when he walks forward, watch how the feet are bent. The toes of his feet, or the toes of one foot, are bent too far out. So his feet are kind of not pigeon-toed, it would be the other way. It's got like duck feet almost, which doesn't really look that good. You can kind of see where the toes are, and the knees are really bent inward. See how the knees of the legs are bent inward, so it almost looks like the knees are rubbing together. So not the best character animation here. It's actually pretty bad, but...
Let me check the volume levels real fast.
Is what it is.
How's it sounding, guys? Let me up the volume.
Also, for a dwarf race being this stocky on the top, I would have made it stockier on the bottom. So I'm going to be very critical because that's just my, I'm just saying if I was going to make an MMO and I'm Steven Sharif and I'm spending millions and millions, I would be critical. I would want to make it the way I would want to make it good. So I'm going to be very critical. That's you're going to get my honest opinion just like his.
Hold on 1 second. That's as loud as it gets, really? Great music playing right now, though.
Music's pretty good.
Master sound at 100.
Yeah, I like the music. Yeah, the music isn't very loud. Or the game sound isn't very loud.
Let's go into the world and see what this game has to offer. That was a badass flip. Thanks, King. Appreciate it, man. Do we have a quest log? All right, here's the map. I love the map in this game. Public events. Wow, man, this is the Alpha 1 map. I think it's the entirety of the map. Or maybe we're limited in the preview. I'm not entirely sure, but we are right here.
Looks like a pretty big map. I like the map. Map's pretty good.
So we're gonna go there.
When he zooms in the details, should be a little better, but
nice. That's a dungeon.
Pretty nice.
We have a node right here that's forming. Ferry. Okay.
Looks like
So the Alpha 1 area, guys, is more of a tropical type of biome.
I was just going to say the biomes are fairly defined, but they're not super defined. I think the resolution of this map needs to be better. It looks very smudged. Like if you see like this, I'm assuming this is like a desert. You can see it's kind of got what I think is like cracked earth. I'm hoping that's what that is. And then you can see the mountains here and the clouds, and you can see the the more green stuff. I don't know if we saw plains, but these biomes, I just think this map needs to be a little bit more defined. It's a little blur. It's a little smudged.
And this is a very small portion of the entirety of the map. I see a donation coming in by Nemesis with a 4.99 dropping a nice. Thanks, Nemesis. What's up, Bonnie? Lauren?
I love his donation. Wolf video is just awesome.
All right, cool, guys. Let's move around. I guess I'm going to go get the first quest. I already have one. All right, here we go. Obviously, the user interface is something that's not anywhere near its final form also. It actually doesn't look bad right now. It's got like this mature, sophisticated look to it with the compass and stuff and the coloring tones. A new world. Recommend level 1. I'm supposed to look up Sergeant Landry upon arriving in Vera. Talk to Sergeant Landry, 10 XP. Okay, let's take a look at our character sheet. The Winstead node is leveled up to a crossroad. Very cool. I can't wait to get over there, man.
Yeah, Appleby, it does. I think it does have flying mounts, just so you know.
All right, worn plate helmet. Do I have anything on right now? Oh, and see, guys, you guys see how much this game still has to develop? This isn't even a picture of a dwarf.
It's not even a dwarf.
Dunir Cleric, health 239, mana 324, power, dexterity, constitution, will, wisdom, mentality. Additional gameplay effects or necessary text regarding additional gameplay mechanics. Okay. Look at all this. You get all the list of what each stat does.
I like the character sheet. Actually, it's pretty good. My only complaint with the character sheet is in MMOs you have a lot of different, UI sheets, spells, bag space, all that stuff. I like how Guild Wars 2 does it where we build it into tabs. So I would love to see this character sheet open up and see tabs here on the left where you could easily access maybe, character skills or character, maybe your character talents, stuff like that. I would love to see it tabbed out. I don't like the idea of having to click one key to bring this up, then clicking a different key to bring up like talents, then clicking a different key to bring up, to bring up something else, bring up like, honor or faction or whatever. I like to see them build it into one window so you're not constantly having to open and close windows. So, but I like the way this looks. I think it's pretty cool. I definitely like how they break down the stats, how it talks about what wisdom does, and that's actually really cool. And I'd love to see stats in MMOs mean a lot more than they currently do. Most MMOs like strength, intelligence, dexterity, they do mean something in World of Warcraft, but in some games it's almost like you don't even care. It's like, oh, especially like when you get stuff like charisma or wisdom. Well, these are really more Dungeons and Dragons type stats, although we don't really have, I don't see intelligence on here. We don't have charisma. We don't have, what else? Intelligence, wisdom, dexterity. Well, that's, we've got wisdom, we got constitution, we got dexterity. We're just missing intelligence, and I don't see strength on here, which is kind of strange. I guess power is your strength, so that's a little bit interesting. But I do like how they break down each one of these and kind of give some information on, what these things, what benefits they give you.
Cool. So we're obviously going to be focusing on power and constitution probably with this character. Oh wait, maybe wisdom.
Wisdom. If you're a cleric, I would imagine.
I'm playing a cleric, guys. I'm not just playing a tank.
Maybe
right, let's go.
Probably wisdom and will, maybe even.
How's the? I'm going to pay attention to the chat for a second. How's the volume levels right now, guys? I can't get it up any higher. Is that high enough?
I want to comment here. I really dislike the particle effects. You can see here when he swings his weapon, it throws this particle effect out. It's not that I really dislike the particle effect so much. It's just that it's not in any way realistic. First off, his mace is nowhere near where this particle effect is, so it doesn't give you an accurate visual representation of your cone of attack, right? So it's like, maybe if there's a mob all the way over here, he's going to hit him, but that looks to me to be way too far away from the actual... this is a dwarf. This mace is not very long. That should be more like in line with like right here. So it looks too far away. Let's rewind it and watch that again. It's hard for me not to pause too much because I'm. But watch the combat animations.
For a second, how's the volume levels right now, guys? I can't get it up any higher. Is that high enough for you guys or what?
Actually, most of them didn't look too bad. It was just that last one, that swipe, that was really bad.
It's just a tall dwarf.
But yeah, the particle effects, in this game in general, like I'm not a fan of the particle effects. They're way too like Final Fantasy. They're too flashy. They're not realistic. They're just too flashy. They're not in any way. They don't feel fantasy at all to me.
All right. Ooh, it's definitely gonna be laggy, guys.
Laggy.
Definitely gonna be laggy. Okay, looks like we're getting closer to where we gotta go. Oh man, this is so much fun.
Okay, right off the bat, the snow looks good. Not the best snow I've ever seen. The snow looks good, but the cool thing, really cool thing about this is, I wish I could just rewind it a little bit.
Tank. All right, let's go.
Such a long stream, it's hard to rewind because it's like 5 hours long.
I'm gonna pay attention to the chat for a second. How's the volume levels right now, guys? I can't get it up any higher. Is that high enough for you guys or what? It's just a tall dwarf.
I hate how his knees kind of bend inward and almost bang against each other when he's running.
All right. Ooh, it's definitely gonna be laggy, guys. Definitely gonna be laggy. Okay, looks like we're getting closer to where we gotta go. Oh man, this is so much.
Okay, this is what I want. This is what I want to show you. So I want to say that I really like right away. One of the things I look at when you play an MMO is the feel of the world. Like, how does it feel to you when you're walking through the world? And right off the bat, now he's got his camera zoomed in, right? Like his camera's zoomed in. Imagine if the camera was pulled out quite a bit. Look how expansive this world looks. It looks massive. Like those mountains in the background. And this is like basically like a Bob Ross painting. So the way Bob Ross painted is you talk about layers, right? You talk about there's stuff that's in the background, there's stuff in the middle, and there's stuff that's in the foreground. This is a Bob Ross painting. You've got the foreground where he is, you got the ground beneath him. The next layer are these trees here. The trees here you see and the buildings here are the middle layer. And then you go back and you've even got this tower on the right side, which is basically the third layer going back. Then you can go even further back and it looks like there's either a wall or some hills. That would be almost like the fifth layer. And then you go all the way back to the mountains on the left here, and that would be another layer. So this gives you that expansive depth of field, and it makes the world feel massive. And this is really good, and you don't see this in a lot of MMOs. You see it in Skyrim. You see it in... you kind of see it, yeah, I guess you see it in Black Desert, but not as good in Black Desert. But the reason it looks so good here is because of how they've layered the objects. It's really level design. It's how they've done the level design with the trees, where they're positioned, and where the cloud effects are making certain things stand out. You can see the cloud effects on the mountains in the background really cover that up, and it just brings everything. It just really gives you this great depth of field.
This is so much fun, man.
Yeah, that was a wall back there.
All right, let's go right to our quest giver, guys.
Graphics look pretty good. They're not like amazing. Colors are a little flat.
Yeah, that definitely needs some work. Just even the base combat right now definitely needs some work.
Combat's too herky-jerky. It's not smooth.
You guys can see when I'm swinging here. It feels like
way too fast.
And they said they're going to be working on all
And when he swings,
stuff.
The attacks are too fast.
I don't know if you zoom out any further from your character, though. I can't do it with mouse wheel.
He will be able to after he does the quest.
Paid 500 or got invited by the company themselves or backed it a long time ago where I think you could have got in for cheaper than 500. But yeah, most people you see probably paid the
Now we zoom the camera out a little bit.
I would never do that if I wasn't a YouTube content creator. Never. And I don't recommend others do it either. I would recommend you wait to get through this first testing phase. And I don't know if the price is going to come down or what, but this is not a phase meant for everyone. Don't spend the money, especially if you have other games to play. Swift Claw Raptor. You guys think I should go let's go try to kill that guy, man. Let's go, baby. Let's throw some hit.
I don't find a raptor being inside a high fantasy game very realistic. How many games have you played where there's been a raptor, in a fantasy game? I can't think of a single fantasy game, like high fantasy, with dwarves. Remember, this is dwarves, elves, orcs, and humans that have raptors. It's a little bit unusual.
Haymakers. Okay. Okay.
Death animation's pretty good.
Sound effects.
Sound effects are good.
Looks like we have a couple plants right here. You require tiller or better to harvest this. Okay. Cultivator. And then we need another cultivator. Interesting. We'll have to try to find those. Let's go see if we can kill another raptor. Character model looks to be a little floaty. Yeah, definitely, Keith. Definitely.
It's very floaty.
Definitely floaty. 55 XP. Okay.
You could see after the raptor was already dead, you could still see his claw animations going through the air, even though the raptor was already dead. You still see these like 3 claw marks swinging.
It's nice to play an MMO again, guys. It's been a long time for me. I've been out of the game, man. I don't like any of the MMOs these days.
It's because most of them suck.
I don't like any of them. All right, where am I supposed to go for this quest? Oh. This is where we talk to the guy.
I think you got a raptor about ready to eat your butt.
Guys, you might witness me die right now. Oh, we got this, baby. I got this. Sorry for the loud keyboard, guys. I gotta find a fix for that. Oh, that body disappeared. I wasn't even able to loot it.
That body disappeared way too quick. So right away, I mean, this is just an alpha, obviously, but the combat swings are way too fast. I don't know what the crafting system's like, Appleby. I haven't paid attention to most of the systems in Ashes of Creation, so I don't really know.
Okay. Can I loot these raptors?
Don't get me going on Swords of Legends, Tony.
Help out Caiaphas here. Well, I guess Caiaphas doesn't need help. Nice. Raptors look realistic, says Sesame. ...
Yeah, the raptors look good. The character models look good.
Let's kill one of these, man. I don't know if we'll be able to ride mounts in this or what. I'm not sure what level you get mounts.
I don't like how he stands basically inside of the raptor or inside of the enemy. I would think they need to put in... does World of Warcraft have collision? I would like to see collision on where you can't walk through the enemy. I don't know if they have that. Does WoW have that? I'm trying to think. Can you walk through enemies in WoW? I don't think so. Can you? No, you can. Oh wait, you can. Can you? Holy crap! I think you can.
How that works?
In Terra, it's challenging. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Are you talking about Swords of Legends or?
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Now let me loot this guy. It won't let me do any looting. Huh. I wonder if that's broken right now.
The world look.
Back into town
The graphics are pretty good. I mean, the world looks pretty good. The graphics are.
Need a cultivator, okay?
You know, it looks good.
Ooh, while we're here, we might as well kill this animated.
But one of the biggest problems, and I see this a lot in MMOs. I see this in a lot of video games. The world is very realistic, but the character models for the characters themselves are not. Now, you noticed how the raptor looked very realistic, but this dwarf doesn't really look that realistic. His armor that he's wearing doesn't have the same type of graphical fidelity or clarity that the raptor's skin had. And that's really jarring to me, and I don't like that. You see that in Star Citizen as well and some other MMOs. I don't like this. Even Elder Scrolls Online does this to a degree where sometimes the world looks to be better quality than the character models.
All right.
Yeah, they don't look, you know. It's a really... the open world is the best part about this game so far. But yeah, the characters look really... I've commented on the characters, the armor before in past videos when I was talking about Ashes that I'm really not a fan of the armor at all. It looks very non-realistic. Like they'll have sheets of like metal armor that look like they're paper thin. They're supposed to be metal, but they just look like the thickness of them isn't there. You know, they're not the proper thickness.
And I think they're gonna organize like a bunch of raids and stuff, guys, for us alpha testers. So hopefully one of these nights, you know, we get into like.
Now, the sound effects sound pretty good. The particle, again, the swinging animation, like I said, it's pretty far away. I guess this is because they're trying to tie in the swinging animation, the particle, with actually where the enemy is. And the enemy is probably going to be, I guess, at this distance. But you can see the sparkles flying off the top. It's kind of really over the head of the enemy. And also, there's no and I've talked about this before as well. One of the most important things to making a combat system feel impactful is having stagger animations, meaning that when you hit something, it should react to your physical contact. So if you hit somebody with a metal mace, it should move. It should his head should bend backwards or kind of, you know, move backwards because he got hit. And you don't see that in a lot of MMOs, and you don't see the stagger animations. And this is early alpha, so maybe they're going to still put it in. We hope that they do. So.
Like a huge party and we kill a dragon or do a siege or something. Oh, here we go. This is for our quest. Kill animated armors. We need 1 out of 6. All right. Oh, we got 1 out of 6.
Yeah, it's got a long ways to go. The game's got a long way to go.
And I don't even know how to bring up my inventory.
I mean, the funny part is they've been working on Ashes since 2014 or something, or maybe it wasn't, maybe 2017. They've been working on it for 4 years at least, and they're still nowhere near, you know.
Character sheet provides players with the ability to inspect their combat stats as well as unequipped armors and weapons. Okay. How do I get to my... Oh, shite. This guy's trying to steal my kill. Okay, nice. We got that one.
Well, I mean, they're still working on it.
The
They don't have to.
slot in the weapons is
They don't have to patch the combat. I mean, this is early alpha, so I mean, a lot of the stuff is going to be overhauled or changed, or it's not really a patch. It's just they're going to be continually making development changes to the game. So I mean, this is I mean, I think this game's still 2 years out. When I look at Ashes of Creation, I still think they got at least 2 years to go.
pretty ugly right now too.
What did he say was ugly?
Did you learn nothing about animated armors during the panel from hell?
Yeah, the armors. Yeah.
ESO would be more something he would like. I played ESO and I did enjoy it. I ended up quitting before really getting into the late game though, because I was kind of bored.
Yeah, I
the
don't
dungeons weren't challenging and stuff, but I never played end-to-end game ESO.
Yeah, it's just
so
an
I didn't
alpha.
really give it a
Exactly.
proper chance, but the world was beautiful. Combat felt pretty good. It's actually my favorite MMO in terms of just exploration. It was really good. But I haven't been like addicted to an MMO in a very long time. And I'm not used to monetization policies that have plagued the industry now, so Ashes of Creation, despite having the cosmetic cash shop, they seem to be pretty no, don't take my kill! They seem to be pretty animate on not having anything pay to win, so that's good.
Whoa, that was loud.
I had to stop Final Fantasy. It's a little too furry, spiky hair for me. I played Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the art styles. Yeah, I agree, Shiny. The art style's pretty generic. Like, there's not. It just looks like, you went to Unreal Engine, because I believe this is Unreal Engine. You went to Unreal Engine and you just popped in some basic, art assets that you could buy off the store. I mean, there's nothing really. They didn't. It doesn't look to me like they custom created it. This stuff. Maybe they did. They might have. They might have, but they may have just bought something, like some stuff off the shop, and used those as a template and just created their own off of stuff. Because you can do that. I mean, you can totally buy trees that other people made, then go and just tweak them a little bit and call them your own. I mean, it's almost impossible to tell that it wasn't, yours. I mean, because you just made it your own. I mean, trees look like trees, right? But there's nothing. I mean, the grass and everything. There's nothing here to me that shouts that they did a lot of customized work. Like, they didn't create it from the ground up. Like, when you look at a game like World of Warcraft, that all the art and assets were created, painstakingly by hand by that team. And then you look at something like Guild Wars 2, same thing. Guild Wars 2, they created all of that themselves, So they had big art teams that did the stuff. So here, I doubt that that's the case. I doubt that Ashes of Creation created all this stuff from the ground up. I'm sure that they bought stuff and just manipulated it and called it their own. That's my guess. I could be totally wrong, but
Fantasy a little bit on PlayStation 4, actually, a long
yeah,
time
there's
ago.
a ton, Shiny. It just totally bothers me that when he hits the enemy doesn't show any sign that he's been made contact with a mace. There's no stagger, there's no reaction. But again, it's early alpha.
All right,
Alpha
so hold
1.
on, let's just do a basic attack. How do you do a basic attack? I guess Q is my basic attack. And is this tab targeting right now? Hold on. I don't know if it really matters. Okay, it looks like I have to click for every sword swing. I wonder if I can hold it down. Yes, you can. Okay, that felt good.
Yeah, that's another thing that people really hate about Ashes right now is that there's no auto attack. Like, there is an auto attack, but it's a key, right? So you actually have to hold down a key to make your character do auto attacks. Otherwise, if you don't hold that key down, your character will only attack when you use like an ability, like some sort of skill. So right now the Q is his auto attack key. So he has to go up to a mob and just hold down Q. So because he doesn't have any special skills right now at level 1. So he literally just has to go up to a mob and hold down a button, which obviously that's terrible. You should be able to just right click on a mob and it should auto attack.
2 more guys, and then our quest is complete.
I'm sure they'll fix that.
We're gonna get to max level, guys.
Laggy.
The pressure's on us. I guess we're a healer, right?
The sound effects are good. I mean, the sound effects are impactful. I mean, they're very, you can hear them when contact supposedly is made with enemies. You hear a lot of sound. So the sound effects are good. I just don't like there's no stagger animation.
This world's gonna be absolutely massive.
But the world looks cool. The scale of the world looks great.
In the starting areas, yeah, I betcha. There's no kill stealing in AOC. Help each other, and you both get credit for the kills in the quest. Okay. Okay. I know that that
Well,
doesn't apply for dungeons. I know that's
well, Shiny, they do have. I mean, Steven's got a lot of money. I don't know how much he's got because he's already funded a lot of this project himself. But they do have funders. They do have what do they call it? They do have like tier one funding or whatever it's called. So there are people that have given them money. So they've got money, and they're from what I hear, they're hiring more people. So and they've made quite a bit from people, paying $500. I mean, when you saw them in the start area, there were a lot of people there. So there's people who have donated quite a bit of money to the game too. But I don't think money. I don't think financially they're in trouble. I think they've got plenty of cash at the moment. How long that lasts, I don't know.
that's for sure. I think it's the team that gets the last hit on a boss or something, requesting it. That's cool. I'm just gonna start holding it down so you guys don't listen to the keyboard every time I click. I have a habit of just smashing keys, even though you don't have to. All right, one more animated armor, and then we're gonna go turn in that quest.
Shadows look pretty good.
Ooh, what do you guys think? Yeah, we gotta kill one. I gotta kill a grasslands bear, man. For you guys, okay?
I like the bird
Music
sound.
sounds too much like Kingdom of Amalur. Yeah, so is Elder Scrolls Online, for anybody who doesn't know. It's definitely probably the most visually appealing MMO out.
Well, there's no challenge yet. Like these mobs are just cakewalks. I mean, he only took like a little bit of health and he took out that bear. So, right, yeah, obviously it's just an alpha, but it looks like they really haven't built much challenge in the game. I do like the variety in the grass here. You can see there's more twigs and the biomes have changed quite a bit. You got some in winter. It's kind of like a cold region right here where there's snow and stuff, and you can see the snow is more in the shaded areas, or hopefully that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to make sense,
I would
hopefully.
say so. I'm actually really excited to just go out into.
I think the music's okay. It's a little repetitive though. Like the loop of the music, it seems to be looping too soon. I like it when songs are like 4 or 5 minute songs and then they stop. Like in WoW, when you turn the music on, you have to actually click loop music, or it'll just play through like maybe a 2 or 3 minute song and then it'll stop. And this feels like it's looping quickly.
The world, man. It looks like, oh, I can't wait to get to like this area, guys. We're gonna take.
Yeah, you guys know me. I usually don't listen to in-game music unless it's really good. In most games, it's not.
Our time though. We got a ferry right here. I wonder if we can create multiple characters. I'm assuming that we. Oh shit! I don't know if you can. I wonder what they're doing for the alpha test. I wonder if I can have multiple characters on a server. Not entirely sure. Corey says, I honestly love the keyboard clicking. I know, a lot of people say that. I haven't come around to it yet. Every time like I rewatch a part of the stream, just hear how it sounds, all I hear is clickety click click click.
The movement of that enemy's shield was really bizarre. Watch this enemy's shield here.
Assuming that we. Oh shit. Not entirely sure. Corey says, I honestly love the keyboard
He's playing a cleric.
clicking. I know, a lot of people say that.
Watch the movement on this enemy's shield. It's just weird how the shield's turning. I don't know what that's all about. Not sure if the shield's turning to block his attack or what, but it's very odd. See how the shield is like turning? I'm not sure what that's all about.
Classic destroying wildlife. The bear was coming at me. All right, let's go ahead and turn this quest in. Might as well kill this guy. What the hell? Ash just has Black Desert's level of character customization. I will love this game, says Sesame. Yeah, the character models need some work, Queen, for sure.
They need
as well as the animations.
The animations
Absolutely.
and character models need a lot of work.
All right, let's.
Yeah, it was weird how they held it. How they held the shield.
Map? I don't know if you can.
These rocks here look pretty good. I'm just trying to see like shadows and like how the stuff melds with the ground. It's not bad. The variety of the ground terrain is actually really good. You can see a lot of variety.
So I know that Intrepid Studios is going a bit more hardcore with some of the mechanics in terms of not marking everything on your map and not having NPCs have a bunch of question marks above their heads and stuff.
They better not.
And I think that's pretty awesome, but
I
we
think
have to
that's
make sure
good,
that we focus a little bit because it's not going to be a golden path to everything that we want.
Yeah,
And I think that does a game wonders because people are forced to use their brain in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And it makes players more engaged.
There should never be a question mark above an NPC.
Wow, look at this, guys. I wonder if we can get all the way up there. I wonder.
Yeah, they are. They are going to be provided, right? There's going to be a lot of stuff that's provided by the engine, but what I was really looking for was how well was the terrain placed? Like, did they place the rocks kind of in a way that made sense? You know, was there any like, were there shadows that were between the, you know, was there like ambient occlusion being used? It wasn't that I was questioning their skill or questioning, you know, whether or not they were using it. What I was really looking for was, are they using ambient occlusion? Because if they are, that means that their game engine, the way they've done it, the game itself can handle it. You know, because everything you know, adding ambient occlusion is going to be a little bit of a hit on the FPS. But if you've coded it correctly and done, and you've actually, you know, got the code behind the scenes to implement the way the game engine's actually handling all the objects in the world, you know, there's a lot to be said for how it's all technically done. And so that's why I was curious about, are they using, you know, what kind of systems are they taking advantage of? And so far, you know, I don't see any surprises, and it's just, you know, it's pretty laggy. You know, the optimization's a long ways away, but like, again, it's just Alpha 1, so that's to be expected.
All right, where's our buddy over here? Where is he? Oh, he's right here. Is that him? I think that's him. It is.
I like the crow
Space
sounds.
Lurker, what's up? My girlfriend sits next to my desk sometimes because she likes the mechanical keyboard sounds. Wow. Maybe I should up the volume of the keyboard.
That's pretty funny. I like the particle effects of the
I've taken
fire.
out as many of
That's
those horrible
good.
creatures as I can. Anything else I can do to help? Thanks for the help. Go talk to Lieutenant Giori if you want to make yourself useful. All right, I'll do that. Oh, and you may want to visit the merchant on the way. He'll likely be interested in those shards you found. I'll do that as well.
I don't think he found any shards, did he? I don't think he was looting anything.
Really relaxing music, in my opinion, though. I love the piano. Okay, guys, let's go talk to Lieutenant Griori or Driori. We also have to speak to the merchant, so let's do that while we're here. I think he's right over here.
Yeah, I don't know, Appleby. I know very little about the story behind Ashes of Creation.
The guild master right here.
I only know basically like how long they've been in development and what the core
systems
are supposed to do.
Make sure you have enough gold to create it. You need
500 gold.
How hard it is to get that.
500 gold.
I wonder.
Create a guild.
All right, here we go. Let's talk to the merchant. Guys, New World's also going into its closed beta this month, and then it comes out in August, so I'll be playing that.
I think Steven Sharif is pretty worried about New World, and that's why he was making fun of it, because New World's coming out in August, and if New World does really well, of course, you know, Ashes is so far off, so I don't think he needs to worry about it. But if New World is actually a really good game, it could affect Ashes. There's a lot of people like, fuck Ashes, but I mean, Ashes is still so far away. I mean, you know.
Also. And
people, if a new MMO comes out and it's good, people are always going to want to try it. But again, look at the armor here. Look at the armor on this character. This is what I was talking about. This like metal armor that looks like it's paper thin. I just don't like that style at all. This shiny shit of overlapping. It looks like tinfoil. And I've seen that in a lot of the screenshots and demos of Ashes of Creation where the armor just doesn't look good. It really doesn't. It's the helmets specifically. Every class is wearing a helmet, and every helmet I see in this game is so ugly.
New World's in its final form, so. Blue Wolf. Might have to duel that guy.
And this helmet's pretty bad. This helmet doesn't look too bad.
How can I sell items? When my vendor window opens, click on the sell tab and drag in whatever.
I can't believe they have dialogues that tell you how to sell something in. I mean, MMO's been around forever. It's like telling you how to like equip a gun in a FPS game. It's like, well, open up your inventory and right click on it or whatever, double click on it. You know, I think that they need to kind of do away with these types of things. You know, when my vendor window opens, click on the sell tab. I mean, who doesn't know this? Seriously.
Sell from your backpack. I'll tally my offer for your items in the total sale field, and once you're ready, click the sell button to complete our transaction.
And I'm with you, Tony. I have very low expectations of New World. Very low. Even lower expectations of this game.
Okay. We don't have anything to sell right now.
The Windows.
How do you see like what the stats on it are?
One thing I don't like, and this was kind of looks a lot like New World, like the windows and stuff. I don't like big windows. I mean, these windows to me, I don't like it when a window takes up like freaking almost half the size of your screen. Does this window really need to be this big? So that could just be a UI thing, and hopefully you can scale the UI at some point. But this window is massively big.
Doesn't let you see. Okay. Backpack contains items that your characters acquired throughout their time on Vera. As you gain new armors and weapons, you may use the window to inspect and equip them.
I like how it's got the backpack grouped. Looks like it's got like maybe weapons, you know, potions. I'm not sure. This might be everything, and this could be like craftable stuff. So it looks like, you know, you can filter it, which is really good. Not all MMOs have that, and they really should.
Them alt click to split stack. Okay. Alt click and then double click to equip wearables, double click to use consumables.
And again, people know these things already usually.
Look, I'm blocked in here right now.
Okay, this is a problem. This is a problem. They have basically collision detection on for other players. That's some MMOs do this, and I always wonder why. You shouldn't have collision detection on for other players. He should be able to just walk right through these players. You should have collision detection on probably for the NPC, but you shouldn't have it for other players. Now, Black Desert, I think, does it in a way that you can hit the player and they'll actually kind of move, you know, and so they have collision detection, which is probably actually my favorite way to do it. So if he moved to this character here and hit him, they would kind of like get knocked back and their arm would lift up in the air a little bit because, you know, it'd roll their shoulder back and stuff. But again, here, if you look at this shoulder armor here, this specific metal armor here, but look at these little, what's supposedly, I guess, metal pieces. Are these coming off? I mean, they look so fake. Looks incredibly, terribly fake. Just terrible. And, you know, not a fan of the armor in this game. And these helmets that these dwarves are wearing are Durin. They're not dwarves, they're Durin. I guess they are dwarves. Are just hideously ugly. It looks like skull caps or something. I don't know.
I'm blocked in.
Look, he can't get out. Look, that guy realized he was blocked in and moved.
There we go.
That guy
So
actually realized
he was making it so you will run into characters because it might bring in some tacticalness to fighting when you're blocking doorways and stuff. I'm not sure if it'll work out well or what their plan is with that, but it'll be interesting. So,
well,
while it's still an alpha, I would say kill X number of this for the first quest isn't promising. Hopefully, it won't be too much of that played out of gameplay. You already played Kingmaker? I did not. Nope. But I will be playing Righteous and
No, Cav. I was just actually I wanted to watch a little bit of Ashes of Creation alpha footage, so. I'm actually on my lunch break and I actually need to go back to work, but just watching Wolfheart FPS because I actually like this guy. He's a pretty decent streamer, and he was playing the alpha a couple days ago or something, and you have to pay $500 to get into the alpha one. So of course I'm not going to pay $500 to get into this. So, but I wanted to see what it looked like. So.
Madagascar, Ashes of Creation, never heard of it. Yeah, it's an upcoming MMO, a couple years out right now.
Yeah, it's a couple years out.
They haven't put in quests yet, just so you know, Peter. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but they put in very, very few quests. These are like temporary quests, placeholders and stuff. Maybe they'll keep them, I'm not sure, but right now they're hiring at their company for content creators for quests and stuff of that nature. But yeah, who knows? Those are tools for farming and stuff, so no stats. That would make sense. All right, let's talk to Captain Driori. Speak to the merchant again. Okay.
When did they start development? Yeah, the characters look. The character floats around. Yeah, the character kind of floats around, and the combat swings are herky jerky.
Now that you have some funds, I can show you how to buy items from me if you'd like. That would be nice. When my vendor window opens, you can peruse. I swear I've never seen that word in my life.
He's never seen peruse in his life. He's not. Oh yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. So there's been a couple words already that he's kind of stumbled over that are just basic English words. I mean, peruse is a very normal word. There was a word earlier that he stumbled over. You don't have a very good grasp of the English language if you've never even seen the word peruse.
Ever. Any items you want to add to the cart.
You know, like level of Wolfheart's have dropped quite a bit just because he doesn't know basic English.
Once finished, you can click the buy button. Okay.
Oh my god.
Before we get started, you are planning on speaking to the blacksmith about crafting later. If so, you should buy some tools so you can gather...
Yeah, I don't really know. Cap, I'm sorry, I don't really know. I haven't really looked into the lore of the game too much. When Ashes was in develop early on, I thought it was like... Yeah, bad. I know the immersion's terrible. The way they present these quests, this window, this like split window with like your options on the right and the stuff on the left, and even this like select, enter, and select, enter, or accept and exit. It's like too much. It's over. You know, I don't like it at all. Oh my god, it's raining outside hard. It just got like black. It just got super dark where I'm at. Let me open up my blinds. Yeah, it's a downpour. It just started downpour rain right here like crazy. But yeah, I don't like the split window here. I don't like the way they present it. You know, Guild Wars does a better job. I like Guild Wars where, you know, the window pops up and you just click it. You just click the button and it kind of scrolls through the NPC's dialogue. And at the end, you just, you know, and if you want to bypass it, you can. You just say, oh, skip, accept, whatever. You know, but this is a little too wordy.
The resources.
I'm trying to find when they first went into development.
Okay,
so hard to find Wikipedia pages anymore.
I saw some of the plants out there needed a tiller to get. We have a beginner's pole. Ooh. How much money do I have right now? Where does it say? I don't see the amount of money that I have.
Holy crap, it's really raining outside. My window's just being beaten to death by sideways rain right now.
See,
I wish I had my camera right now. I'd show you guys.
If I can afford it. Oh, total cost 10. I have 0. Okay, so I guess I might have to sell something. I have 0 right now, so we can't do anything anyways. Alright, let's go talk to...
Alright guys, I gotta...
Table. Okay. This is an alchemy table where you can craft potions and elixirs. Open the recipe book.
I gotta go to work, guys, so I'm gonna jump out of the stream here. We'll talk more about this later. We'll talk more about this later, guys. I gotta get to work, but I hope you guys are having a good day. I'll do some more content. I'll talk more about the Ashes of Creation later. Maybe we'll do another video tonight. I'll catch you guys later.